now?
Yes.
In accordance to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F, any member of the public may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting. A member of the public who wishes to record the meeting must first notify the chair and must comply with the reasonable requirements regarding audio or video equipment established by the chair as not to interfere with the meeting. Is anybody other than the cameraman?
Amanda Burke with the Howard.
Thank you. Pledge allegiance.
Sheena with Channel 12.
I live of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need to approve the December 20th, 2018 minutes. Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need to approve January 15th, 2019 minutes. Need a motion? Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have the student representative report.
So, since we last met, Diamond students have... Sorry about that. Since we last met, Diamond students have continued to excel academically and vocationally, both in and out of the classroom. The debate team, led by my truly awesome grandfather, has won 3 out of the 4 debates in which it participated. The math team, led by the hardworking and caring Mr. Maddows and Mr. Weymouth, continues to practice for its next championship. The book club, revived entirely by our great cameraman, Mr. Burns, has been meeting weekly in the library. And in addition to this, the Astronomy Club, Genes and Space Club are practicing weekly, along with the NHS team, DECA, Finance Club, and Youth Court. When it comes to sports, we also have a multitude of newly minted achievements. For example, the cheering team placed first in the Mayflower League in this past week's competition. The hockey team qualified for the state tournament. The boys and girls basketball team are currently 2nd place in the Mayflower League, and the winter track team just finished up the season with a few state qualifiers. Above all else, however, one extracurricular achievement we are particularly impressed with is the outpouring of support from Diamond students, faculty, and alumni to Fort Wayne's fire victims. Just this Saturday, as many of you know, Diamond held a breakfast to raise money for the victims of the fire, and sure enough, our hardworking and beloved superintendent was there, dedicating his Saturday to those less fortunate than him. And I think that activities like this, where we come together for the better good and raise funds for those less fortunate, really epitomize the Diamond spirit and our commitment to serving the community, working hard, and doing what's right. And these basic tenets are what sets Diamond apart. And if you've ever spent a day at Diamond, you'll have noticed that we look out for each other and fight for what's right. We put what's best for the community and what's best for the future above our immediate wants and needs. So, on behalf of the 1,400 plus students at this school, all I ask for tonight is that the school committee adhere to our moral compass. And I think it's time to restore Diamond pride. Bleed orange.
Can you hear me? Next on the agenda is citizen input as it relates to the agenda item only in accordance with the district's policy. We have Tim Gagnon.
Before you start my time, attorney, do we get 3 minutes per agenda item or 3
No,
minutes
just
total?
3 minutes total.
Okay, I'll have to make this brief then. Before I start, I have a small comment on item 3.2.I, the MSBA project. I spoke with Jess Falconia, our project coordinator, earlier today over at the MSBA. She informed me that the superintendent has met all obligations in providing the MSBA with the requirements of the eligibility period, and that a decision to begin the feasibility study is anticipated by the end of March. At this time, there is no indication that we would not be invited into phase 2. Thank you, Tom. I also requested that if the superintendent has met his obligations in a particularly timely or thorough manner, that communication be sent to me citing so that way in future superintendent evaluation reports, there's no discontent or misgivings regarding how he performed in this particular activity. On item 2.2 regarding the superintendent replacement itself, 5 verse 1,000, and that's a conservatively reasonable estimate. Some would say it's over 5,000. How is it that 5 volunteers who don't even work for Diman have the ability to make a decision in direct conflict with the wishes and interests of over 1,000 students, teachers, administrators, local business owners, and educational professionals? How is that possible? 5 people are overriding 1,000 people's wishes. In the superintendent's 2016-2017 evaluation, Mr. DeBazio wrote, and I quote, "Mr. Orban needs to respect that the members of the committee are his boss. Now, while that may be true, I think the committee needs to remember who their boss is." Members of the public in the district in which it represents. But of course, how would you tell? What recourse do we have? We have no recall mechanism to remove the elected committee members. We couldn't get the mayor and 2/3 of city council to reappoint the appointed members if we tried. We have no such thing as a vote of no confidence in Robert's rules or open meeting law, nor do we have any direct voting mechanism to re-vote on the things you've decided on. It would seem our only mechanism for affecting the decisions the 5 of you make is to file HEO complaints and have the Attorney General review this, hopefully retroactively, finding something that you did faulty in your decision-making process. And to work tirelessly on ensuring the elected members lose their respective upcoming elections while simultaneously trying to influence whoever the future mayor of Fall River may be into appointing individuals who are open to public input. We are your boss, but you would never know that. Let me try something. All in favor of beginning negotiations to renew Superintendent Tom Morgan's contract, say aye. Aye! All opposed? The ayes carry it. Now, Attorney, you'll confirm that vote meant nothing. But how are we supposed to influence you? And with that, I'll see you guys in March. Thank you.
Reading to you.
I said, I'm looking for David DeLima.
Good evening, school committee members and those in attendance. My name is David DeLima. I live in Fall River. Let me try that again. Good evening, school committee members and those in attendance. My name is David DeLima. I live in Fall River, and I'm a proud graduate of the 2002 class. I would like to share my experiences with Diman, from having the honor of attending to having been introduced to my first trade job junior year, the joys of graduating, and then enduring 4 years of night classes just to try and get licensing. I was lucky. The skills, values, and ethics installed have made my life an amazing journey. June 10th of this year, 18 years of doing what I love. And it's pretty wild because that's literally half my life at this point. Milestones, some you just don't see coming. I truly owe a good portion of that to Diman, how they handled me through the years, and their faculty members. Diman's always blazed its own path. We are passionate, sometimes rough around the edges. but we're not scared to work hard to make amazing things happen. I think it's sad that the core differences and values that have always been our strengths and legacy are being brushed aside as if they hold no value. We all reach different points in life where we reflect on journeys and the things that actually hold value. My wish is that our school committee finds the time to step away from all the noise and do the same. Thank you. With that.
John Narciso.
I have asked if I could speak in place of Mr. Narciso this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that opportunity. I would like to address this committee, first of all, thanking you again for this opportunity to read a letter that was addressed to this committee back on January 9th, and we have received no correspondence since that date. I'm here tonight to go on record to address this letter to the public and to the committee. It reads as such: Dear school committee members, on December 6, 2018, at the Diman School Committee meeting, a decision was made to not extend the contract of Superintendent Thomas F. Orban. The announcement of this decision was a shock to the faculty and staff at Diman. A vote conducted by the Diman Teachers Association on December 7, 2018, showed that an overwhelming majority of DTA members do not support the school committee's decision. The Diman Teachers Association respectfully asks that the school committee reconsider its original decision and to extend the contract of Thomas F. Orban. And on my own behalf, I'm a veteran of 24 years here and have great respect for everyone who served this school and this district. I'm appalled at this point and wondering that with the remark made by this committee that they want to move in a new direction. Well, I'm 24 years here and have at least maybe another 7 or 8 to go. I would like to know what this direction is personally. And I think this committee has a duty to address that to the public, to the staff, and to the students. What this decision made was to move in a different direction. Please, what is this direction? That's from me personally, and I hope I speak on behalf of all the staff, the family, and the students here at Diman. Thank you very much.
The annual report, we're going to move to the March meeting, as some of the members have mentioned that they haven't had time to review the annual report. Moving to 2.2, superintendent replacement selection. Go ahead, Mr. Deegan.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent. I'd like to address the situation, as this has been very close to myself. While I'm not a Diman graduate, I put 5 children through this school, 3 previous, 2 current. I hold heavy stake in what goes on in Diman. So those of you who think we don't understand what's going on the ground floor, we do. We as a committee must address this issue with diligence in an effort to move forward with resolution and inform the school community, staff, and personnel the direction of the school. I believe I have seen firsthand the division this has caused in the building with students and staff, this toxic environment as it was described to me by multiple people, is evidenced through the discontent amongst staff, both union and not.
We sat and we listened to 3 people come up here and talk. We have a right for this committee member to to speak. If you can't keep your comments to yourself, I will ask the chairman to ask the 2 police officers in the back to remove. So please, hold your comments to yourself. This is a meeting, and we do not want to hear an outcry while this committee member is speaking. Thank you.
So I will repeat. This toxic environment, as was described to me through multiple, it is evidenced through discontent amongst staff, both union and not, finger-pointing, grievances, and multiple anonymous letters that have been disseminated to school committee members as well as left in the school. We must show the community there is clear vision for Diman. Over the past few months, I've followed all aspects of this crusade. I've responded to your emails. I've taken phone calls. I've endured personal attacks towards my family and myself. I understand and respect the position of those opposed of the decision by the committee. I must make it clear that we must move forward, not backwards. I have heard many terms such as momentum, consistency, passion, vision. These came from your mouths. We have a stellar team of administration in this school, made up of administrators that have made the climb through the ranks, as we have always made a concerted effort to promote from within. Names such as Mrs. Torres, who was promoted after many years within the school. Mr. Rebello, our assistant principal, who was once a guidance counselor, was my son's guidance counselor. Dr. Warren came in from our English department and brought us numerous years of experience that created undeniable benefit to our students. Dr. Ferreira, who has virtually held every title in the school, beginning from Dean of Students, Academic Coordinator, Vocational Coordinator, currently Assistant Superintendent Principal. In short, you are correct. We must provide clear direction, as I believe this turmoil and uncertainty has gone on long enough. At this point, I would like to make a motion to offer the position of Superintendent Director to Dr. Ferreira, subject to an agreeable contract between Dr. Ferreira and the committee. If he accepts this offer, that contract negotiations will begin immediately between Attorney Brilliant and himself. If he accepts this offer, it will offer continuity and a smooth transition of leadership, which is imperative to our numerous projects on the horizon. In the event he does not accept this offer, I will move for the committee to begin an aggressive search process. There's a motion on the floor.
Okay, I have a motion. I need a second. I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
So we have some discussion before.
We can have a discussion.
If I can for 1 second, please. Chair, if you'd recognize me for 1 second. I can appreciate Mr. Beegan's very impassioned statement. Unfortunately, it doesn't speak to any factual evidence because we just received a 5-year focused visit from the National Association of Schools and Colleges, which states, and I quote from the visiting team, that morale hasn't been better. They've seen an increase in morale over the past 5 years since their last visit. So your anonymous letters and all of your other things that you're citing may be satisfactory to you, but the National Association of Schools and Colleges, or New England Association of Schools and Colleges, I think, is a little better suited to make a decision about the morale of this building than you are at this point. So.
I certainly respect Mr. Deegan's comments, and I think Dr. Ferreira is a very qualified candidate. However, I think because of the sensitivity of the situation, because of the tension in all of this that Mr. Deegan addressed, I think to not have a search and look at all candidates puts a cloud of suspicion, the accusation of nepotism forward. And I think for my lady, Dr. Ferreira, or whoever has that job, I think it's best that we look at all candidates so that it's clear that we're looking at the best possible candidate, not just moving someone forward. Again, Dr. Ferrer. Please know my total respect for you and for your work here, and that has nothing to do with you. But I think if you are to be the next superintendent, I think you need to be able to say that you were the best candidate from a field of your peers, and not just moved up the ranks without that type of process.
Amen.
Anyone else?
I'm not ready today to vote on that motion. I feel that we as a committee owe the people out there to at least go back into executive session.
No more discussion on it. I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor? Aye.
What is this? What is the vote to?
What's the motion? What?
Vote to the motion.
The motion is to hire as superintendent. Pending. And to Renee's point, even if we object to the vote, but we could object to the vote, correct?
What's that?
We could object to the vote tonight, so we have.
It's a motion, a second. Now you.
But if we
vote
object-
on the motion. You just vote yes or no.
We can't object to a vote. To acknowledge Renee's point, we need more time. So an object to the vote,
You just vote no.
I thought we could object to the vote.
Nobody's allowed to see it.
I'm going to read it. I'm reading from Robert's Rules of Order. To suppress the question. A. Objection to the consideration of a question. Sometimes a resolution is introduced that the Assembly do not wish to consider at all because it is profitless or irrelevant to the objects of the Assembly or for other reasons. The proper course to pursue in such cases is for someone, as soon as it is introduced, to object to the consideration of the question. This objection not requiring a second, the chairman immediately puts the question, will the Assembly consider the question? If decided in the negative by the 2/3, the question is immediately dismissed and cannot be again introduced during that session. The objection must be made when the question is first introduced, before it has been debated, and it can be made when another member has the floor. So my reading of that is this objection must be made when the question is first introduced, before it has been debated, and can be made when another member has the floor. So in other words, you could have interrupted Mr. Bacon and moved to object.
All right, based on that information, we're going to move forward. I have a motion, I have a second already. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Lucy, can you take a roll call?
Yes.
Attorney Cavia? No. Mr. Jennings? Mr. Menard? Mr. Beacon?
Yes.
I object.
Okay, it carries 4-2. Under new business, we have personnel, we have retirements.
Sure. Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, ELA instructor, has submitted a letter of intent to retire effective February 22nd, 2020. Mr. Raymond Keogh, ELA instructor, has submitted his letter of intent to retire effective June 30th, 2019.
We have advisory board appointments.
Sure. Mr. Samuel Cordero, currently the Chief Financial Officer of Primacare. Mr. Cordero has extensive experience in healthcare administration, particularly in finance and accounting.
Recommendation is to appoint Samuel Cordero. Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Taylor Murdo, currently the Director of Education and Safety at Glen Electric. Mr. Murdo has 14 years of experience in the electrical field.
Recommendation is to appoint Taylor Murdo. Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Under new business 3.2, other matters, use of facilities.
We have received a request from the American International College for use of a classroom on Wednesday, March 20th, 2019, from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for a teacher information meeting. The fee for this use is $70 plus $63.24 for a security fee, for a total of $133.24.
Recommendation is to approve the request from American International College.
So moved.
Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We have received a request from Bristol County Chamber of Commerce for the use of the auditorium and gymnasium on March 30th, 2019. Setup will be on March 29th, noon to 6 p.m. from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the Home and Garden Show. It is requested that this fee be waived.
Recommendation is to approve the request from the Bristol County Chamber of Commerce. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We have received a request from the Jehovah's Witnesses to hold a religious ceremony on Friday, April 19th, 2019 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the auditorium. Use fee is $150 plus $94.86. Security fee for a total of $244.86.
Recommendation is to approve. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We gotta go back to 3.
We will. We have received a request to hold the Fall River Youth of the Year Award ceremony in room 251 restaurant on Thursday, March 21st, 2019 at 9 a.m. It is requested that this fee be waived.
Recommendation to approve the request. Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We have received a request from the Massachusetts Association of Vocational Administrators to hold a course, Topics, Technology in the Secondary Mathematics Classroom, on Wednesdays through February 27, 2019 to May 15, 2019 from 3:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. It is requested that the use fee be waived as diamond instructors receive a discounted rate for the course.
Recommendation is to approve the administrators. Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We have received a request from the Tech Connection Academy to hold MCAS testing on Saturday, March 30th, 2019, from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. in 2 classrooms. The use fee is $350 plus $221.34. Security fee for a total of $571.34.
Recommendation is to approve. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 3.2, other matters. B, accepting the gifts.
We certainly want to thank Amazon for their very generous donation of a number of things. You have the list there. You can see everything from restaurant, bar, grease, rubber floor mat, to 2 wet dry bags, mini refrigerators, 5-gallon washing machines. There's a host of different things. And, they are on the list there. So.
The recommendation is to accept the following items from Amazon. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We have 2 expenditures on the item, Educational STEM Solutions, which is for the Junior Skills USA Robotics equipment, and then Skills USA Massachusetts 2019 District 2 competition.
Recommendation to approve the following expenditures. Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Under new business, we have an open meeting law complaint. Action complaints. Attorney Boyd?
Yes, has all of the committee received those complaints? I'm sorry. They should be referred for, in order to have a response sent to those particular individuals.
Okay, thank you. Under new business, 3.2E, at the 2018-19 calendar revisions.
Sure. Following our proposed provisions for the 2018-19 calendar. Half-day for AP testing changed from May 8th to May 1st. Dates changed to D-Day due to MCAS and computer infrastructure testing. March 5th, March 27th, 26th, 27th, May 21st, 22nd, June 4th, and 5th. Senior final dates changed from May 22nd and 23rd. Makeup date, May 24th. To May 23rd and 24th, the makeup day will be the 28th.
Recommendation is to approve the proposed 2018-19 calendar changes. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Oh, not yet. 3.2F, 2019 through 20 school calendar year. Any changes to the calendar we should be aware of? Yes.
Make a motion to approve the calendar for next 2019-2020 school year.
Have a motion, need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? .2G, 2018 accountability report.
Yes, you have a booklet that looks like this that was presented to you late today. The reason it was presented late today is that we actually didn't get the report card data from the state until very late. So I will apologize for the state of Massachusetts for not getting it to you sooner. But I will direct your attention to a couple of very salient parts of the report. If you take a look at the first page, it says that the district is partially meeting targets. What I'd like to point out is that for our all students category, we've actually met our targets. The partially met targets refers to a subgroup that hasn't met the target, and that is the high needs group, which includes students who are economically disadvantaged, students with special education, and students with English as a second language. So overall, if you look at the next page in the accountability system, I am incredibly proud and happy to report that Diman Regional had performed better than 68% of the schools in Massachusetts. That's not just ironically, the first thing that we as an administrative team said when we looked at this after patting ourselves on the back was that we need to do better. And it speaks volumes to our teaching staff, to our administrative staff, and to everybody here. The second side of that chart that you have is the improvement target. And you'll see that the improvement target is at 61%. The state sets an improvement target for 75%. Part of the difficulty in terms of meeting that 75% improvement is that our scores are so high in English language arts and mathematics that to make a jump to demonstrate to get to that 75 number is extremely difficult. So again, we will continue to work hard. A couple of other things that I think you should be aware of. We have the English language arts and mathematics and the science numbers for you in that report. But a couple of other things that I kind of like to point out. I mean, our graduation rates are once again really exceptional, well above the state average. Our dropout rate in particular is also well above the state average by a full percentage point. Post-secondary enrollment is in line with many of the vocational schools. Advanced coursework completion, you can see that our district, while 10% behind the state, is actually making great inroads in that. So again, another trend moving upward. There is a particular item on here that I think bears mention, is the fact that if you take a look at grade 9 course passing, we are almost a full 20%, 18% somewhat higher than the state average in terms of grade 9 students who pass. And why that's an important statistic is because students who pass grade 9 are 4 times more likely to finish within 4 or 5 years. And I want to personally and in public give credit to not only our teaching staff, but our tremendous guidance counselor for 9th grade, Miss Erica Thompson, who has done an exceptional job with that. Student discipline, as you can see, is well below the state average. Not a surprise when you take a look at the sort of culture that we've built here over the past 20 years and even before that.
So, next question.
Sure.
On the graphs, this our school, our district in Massachusetts.
That's correct.
Our school and our district are the same.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so
Because,
just listed twice.
because the state reports it out, the school is Diman, the district is Greater Fall River. It can be confusing, absolutely.
Okay.
No, understood.
I thought we were the exact same for all the Fall River schools across the board.
No, that's just Diman regional. If you take a look at the days absent, again, we are well below the state average in terms of students' days absent. There is one chart here that it's pretty astounding, broad and challenging coursework. We are significantly below the state. If you take a look, it talks about arts, music, visual arts, theater, dance. Well, part of the problem with trying to meet that is really a function of our schedule more than the ability of our staff. And we're working hard to try and add the arts to our schedule. As you know, we switched to a 6-period schedule last year to accommodate the eventual coming of history as a high-stakes test, but also to really address the issue that although STEM is extremely important, we can't forget the A, STEAM, which is the arts, because we think that they go hand in hand together. So that is the Diman report card in a nutshell. If you have any questions, I'll be happy, or if I can't answer, the staff would be happy to answer them at this point. But I am extremely proud of our staff and our students, and I couldn't be more pleased with their performance. I will point out that our accountability numbers are higher than all of the comprehensive schools in the 4 sending districts. So, it was a pleasure.
House Building Subcommittee, Mr. DiBiasio.
The subcommittee met prior to this meeting, just to go over Mrs. Torres filled us in on the house building project, which is up to date. Matter of fact, with the cold weather that we had, we're surprised that it's on target to get completed by the end of the year. We did receive 2 applications for houses for next year. Mrs. Torres is going to be speaking to both those parties, one to get some information from it, and the other to come visit us next subcommittee meeting in March. It was a vote that we took in a subcommittee that we have to bring at the regular meeting. The carpentry shop built 2 sheds. I believe they're 8 by 10 or 8 by 12. And they did it so the Southbournes could get some work into framing. Now that these are going to be complete, we made a motion that to allow the school to have a silent auction in order to pay for the sheds and put some money aside for next year so they can continue this process. So at this point, I'd like to ask a motion to allow the school to go ahead and have a silent auction for these 2 sheds.
We got a motion, need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
The next project that Ms. Torres had met with people from it's like the Ronald McDonald House, I believe, Mrs. Torres, and they what they construct is sheds that go after what the sick child might want that applied for, whether they enjoy stores, they make this shed look like a store or a train station or whatever it might be, and they assign you the organization assigns the school a person. The school meets with the family to decide what kind of shed they want to build for that person, and then the sheds are displayed at Bryant College, I believe it was, and for the public to see, and then the shed is transported by them to the child's home. So with that, we did not get into it for this year because we were a little late. They had an opening. We're hoping to have an opening in this next year. It's something that I believe the school would like to do in the future. So
We took a vote in the subcommittee. Yeah.
So we're going to take a vote just to allow the Mrs. Torres to go forward with this for next school year if they ask us, so she doesn't have to wait for approval from the school committee. That way, if they approach her, she'll be able to go ahead with the program. So on this, I'm looking for a motion to go ahead with it's called the Wish Kids Playhouse program.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And last on the agenda that we talked about, we have several projects that Mrs. Torres went over, and she'll be updating us as the projects get completed.
Great. Thank you. 3.2I MSBA update. Mrs. DiBiasio.
As the gentleman said earlier, he's absolutely correct. We are in the phase for the April meeting or the February meeting. Might be put off to April, we're not 100% sure, but we are in the feasibility, waiting to hear about the feasibility study. So everything is in the MSBA's corner. I have spoken with them, so has other committee men. I've spoken with the MSBA, and we are on target. The administration here has submitted all the paperwork needed. At this time, it's just a matter of getting when they do have a meeting that we get accepted to the next phase.
Okay. Thank you. 3.2J 2020 International Club Trip.
Sure, this is for next year, World War II in England and France. The International Club can take advantage of a discount if the trip is booked a year in advance. The trip will take place from April 17th to the 26th, 2020.
Recommendation to approve the 2020 International Club Trip to England and France. Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 3.2K Monthly Financial Report. Mrs. Kenny.
Thank you for coming up to the report.
Can't hear her.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
You have presented in front of you the monthly financial report. At this point, we are pretty much on target with everything, and the administration has been working toward what we are going to have as remaining for the remaining of the year to try to determine which projects we can complete this year as we prepare for next year's budget as well.
Anyone, any questions from Mrs. Kenny regarding the budget?
It's happened. It's happened. So the administration has met with just about every department. We have 2 or 3 stragglers left. We have actually received the governor's first proposal, and so this is basically the basic numbers that we start to work with. And we're very pleased, and we did get some additional money. We also have some additional students, which helped as well. So we have been having budget meetings for several weeks now, and as I said, we need a few more deposits. The goal is to get a budget to you in March for your approval, and also we would have a public meeting at that time as well.
Now, do we normally get an update later on? Does the House, the Senate, and...
Actually, yes. So what happens is the governor has his proposal. Then the House will have their proposals. And then the Senate will have their proposals. And then the House and the Senate will call. Yeah, it'll be very late. What's making things a little unique this year is that all 3 levels of government have also changes to the Chapter 70 formula. So that's working through the process as well as negotiations for the budget. So it'll probably, we won't have final numbers till the very end, which is pretty standard. But this is, at least we have a basis. And typically, this tends to be the most conservative number. So, I'm always pleased. It won't be less than that. You're absolutely right. But it'll be quite some time before we know, because of the changes in the formula that will also have to be reconciled among the 3 legislatures of government.
Thank you.
If I may, Governor Baker's first proposal suggests a change in foundation budget, an increase in Diamond to about $1,022,737, roughly somewhere around a 5+% increase. We are also counting the 10 additional students that we have. So that's the rough numbers on the government budget going forward.
Great, thank you. Sure. 3.2I is Superintendent's report.
Sure, I'd like to read the correspondence that I have from Linda Brown, who is the Managing Director from the Harlow Anatomy Program over at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. Dear Tom, thank you for your call yesterday. It is exciting times for Diman Region. As we discussed, we remain very interested in working with Diman Region. Your enthusiasm is contagious. With respect to our discussion, please ensure your proposal includes what you need to make this work for Diman, and I will review internally. I look forward to your proposal in the next couple of weeks, and if you need more information or have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Just a sort of reminder, going back to last summer, we sent Dr. Raj Riera and 2 of our administrators, Maria Torres and Dr. Katie Warren, to Case Western to take a look at their revolutionary anatomy and physiology program employing augmented reality using the Microsoft HoloLens goggles. At the time, when they came back, they basically said that it would revolutionize the way we teach this. However, there was significant costs that I'm not at liberty to discuss because there was a non-disclosure agreement signed as part of that, but I can assure you that the cost would have been incredibly prohibitive. At that point, I put a proposal to Linda Brown sometime in October. They chewed on that for about 4 months, and you can see January 15th, they're looking to partner with Diman Regional. So we are hoping next week during vacation to write up the Skills Capital Grant with the hope of obtaining $500,000 for Diman Regional, $300,000 of which would go for the purchase of the Microsoft HoloLens. We have also hired 3 teachers to work on a modified curriculum to present to Case Western that hopefully they will approve, and we'll be able to move forward. Also, I was excited and I'm very pleased to announce that on correspondence I received on January 26th from Kelly Wells, who is the head of the STEM Leadership Alliance. She has invited me to present at the national conference in Orlando, Florida between July 7th and the 11th on our innovative programming here at Diman Regional. So that's all I have at this time.
break is, so said is next week. The next school committee meeting is scheduled for March the 14th.
What time?
We haven't set the agenda. Yes. Okay. We can have Ms. Thompson send out something. Next, for your information, we have some correspondence for your information. The other is 3.4. Is there a need to go into executive session? No. So, being said, next meeting will be tentatively scheduled for March 14th. Need a motion to adjourn? Need a second? Second.